This episode of the Date Podcast is sponsored by Bopsy. Meet up to 6 people over mobile video. It's video speed dating. Download Bopsy in the Google Play Store or iTunes. Check out bopsy.com. Hey, this is Zorric.
And Emma,
hosts of the Date Podcast, and we're so excited to do another show for you today. We have a few thought-provoking topics we'd like to discuss. Emma.
Yes.
Do you know any truths about online dating?
It sucks?
Yes, that's one.
Okay,
definitely one truth. We'll talk about that. And also, did you know online dating is just not good for you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like your mental health or like what?
You might be giving away too much information, but that's part of it. But first, we like to ask for your help. We are a brand new podcast available on iTunes and Google Play. If you like what you hear, please subscribe to the podcast and leave a review, hopefully raving. Also tell your friends about the podcast, and we appreciate the feedback and support.
If you have any questions, comments, show topics that you'd like for us to discuss, leave us an email at hello@datepodcast.com, or you can find us at Date Podcast on Instagram and Twitter.
Okay, so on to the fun stuff. So, Emma, did you know that Ariana Grande and Pete Davidson
from SNL
are dating?
Are rumored to be dating.
Yes, allegedly dating.
Allegedly dating.
What do you think about that couple?
I'm not a fan of Ariana Grande.
Oh.
So I don't care what she does.
You don't? I think she's a decent singer, right? And she's a pop star and all that. So I think it'll be a match made in heaven. No other comment?
I don't know. Pete Davidson cracks me up. I think he's funny. Sometimes I think his humor is lost on me. And I know that Ariana Grande is definitely lost on me. Because I remember her from Victoria's. And her character was really annoying.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't watch that. But it does say that she just recently broke up with her boyfriend, Mac Miller.
Yep.
They were together for 2 years. And Pete announced that he'd broken up with his girlfriend, Kazi. That's a cool spelling. David, on May 16th. So it could work out. You know, dating's all about timing.
It is.
You know, and maybe
this is the timing for them.
This is the time, and it says here that they've been friends for a long time, and who knows? Maybe there's something else. Maybe they were talking before they broke up, because you know sometimes that happens.
That's true.
You know,
you want to make sure you have the backup.
Backup plan.
Yep.
And which I think, my therapist would say you need to spend time on your own. You know, don't just jump into the next relationship, right?
Figure out who you are as a person. People forget that we are people. We're individuals before we are in relationships and before anything else that comes after that.
We are, and you know, you might be bringing that baggage from the old relationship into the new one. You know, and nobody got time for baggage, especially me. You know, there's not much time left on the planet, at least for me. But so Emma, there's a lot of ugly truths about online dating.
Isn't there? And
for those who are just getting back into the game, we have 5 truths, and it's written by Ryan Anderson in the Psychology Today website, which is a pretty good website. And so there was a survey in 2013, which is a while back, but it says here 77% of people considered it very important to have their smartphones with them at all times.
Which is a very scary thought, to be honest.
And so with having your phone on you at all times, it's just like having your keys, like your glasses, your tampon, you know, stuff like that. And I'm trying to get a response from Emma. She's not getting any response.
Nope.
Okay.
Don't be ashamed to talk about feminine hygiene products.
Okay. Or your, IUD, I don't know, something like that, whatever that is.
Yep, I'm going to carry my birth control with me.
Okay. But, you know, the whole point of the online dating thing, and I think I agree with this one, I don't know about you, Emma, but the online dating thing saves time.
In theory.
Yeah, in theory. And also what's interesting here is that they found out that by 2040, 70% of us will have met our significant other online. That's a lot.
Not me, remember?
Oh, not you.
Not me.
So everyone who
I
doesn't know,
will have met him in person.
Regardless
Through friends.
Regardless of if you really met them on Tinder and Bumble, we're still continuing this conversation.
But the last episode.
Yeah, everyone check out the last episode and you'll know exactly what Emma is preaching.
Referring to, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's go with number one. And
Can I get a
one,
witness?
There's lots of witnesses here, including me. So the first one here is lie.
Yes.
Not everyone, I'm sorry.
The majority, yep.
53% of people lie on their online dating profiles.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about that?
It bothers me because I get it. Like it's easier to put your best foot forward when you're online dating. It's not helpful when you meet the person in like live and in person, and you've created this persona online that is not meeting your actual persona.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lie, and then it's the other person has every right to be upset about that. So you set yourself up for failure there.
I think it just starts off the relationship on a bad foot.
It's why I have minimal pictures on my profile, because a lot of them have been me as a blonde. Yeah. And now I'm back to being my natural brunette. But most of my pictures are me being blonde, and so I have very limited pictures because the old ones that I have are of years ago, and I'm not going to do that.
Can I have another example? Because as a man, hair is important, but the color to me, it doesn't really matter.
Oh, see, it matters to me because I'm like, I don't want you to expect me as a blonde when I'm actually a brunette.
No, but it's okay. You could have been just a filter or something, because every freaking photo is filtered.
I also don't use filters.
Okay, amen. Do not use filters.
Not for online dating. I think that's horrible.
No, and I think the lie is maybe not in your case, Emma, but is to seem desirable. Mm-hmm. And just an FYI, everybody is desirable. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Everyone has their strengths and weaknesses.
Yes, that's right.
And we've discussed this before, but I think it was a few episodes back about just, we all have flaws. Mm-hmm. Right. And it's better to be honest up front, because someone's going to find out.
Admit your flaws. Mm-hmm. It's okay. People are going to judge you no matter what. They better just judge you knowing exactly what they're going to get. Mm-hmm.
And okay, just FYI everyone, so the most lied about things are financial situations, like having a better job than what they actually do, and that's the main one it shows here.
And that just kind of speaks to where our values are, or where people think that other people's values are, that is something that is lied about, because it's kind of like, in order for me to be more desirable, I have to make a higher income than what I actually do.
But
so that
do we?
People can want me.
Do we? As men, do we need to have that executive job, or can I?
No.
Or can I just be a DJ like Kevin Featherline?
He also spoke about it the last episode.
But it's okay, because he married Britney Spears. Okay, we're going on a tangent here.
No.
And
no.
And
he's gonna get move on.
And he's gonna get 20,000.
Who's the next one we can talk about?
Anyways, so lying is not good, guys and gals.
There's gonna be women out there who are humble and just want to be loved, but my whole thing on that is that you can't live on love alone. So I'm not saying you have to be super rich.
What do you mean live
I'm gonna get hungry. I'm not willing to do that.
Oh, you need food or something?
I need
money?
Yeah, to survive.
Okay, I gotcha.
So my whole thing is it is important, but it shouldn't be the most important thing. Mm-hmm. And so living within your means is also important.
Yeah.
Know your lifestyle.
Yeah. So everyone who's new out there, watch out. On top of the unlimited pool you have now from the apps, now 53% of them have some sort of lie or fabrication. It's not saying everyone is going to lie, but just beware of that. Uh-huh. The second ugly truth is You hear this all the time. People are on Tinder and Bumble just to hook up. Is that true, Emma?
No, because I'm not
true.
there to hook up.
No, we're looking for a relationship.
I truly am.
Yeah.
Where are you?
Knock, knock, men. Come on, guys. But so I think that there's a stigma that says, or that's out there that says that men are just simply looking for sex. But I think it depends on the app too.
Yes.
And your age. Again.
Like there are some apps that I've used where I am like, this is definitely more of a hookup app, and I cannot believe that I agreed to download this app and give it permission. And then within a week, I was like, nope, not today.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah, it just depends. And I think, so back to the whole, I guess the theme of the driver of people on these online dating apps is time. I think that people aren't going on apps just to hook up. I think it's just a hodgepodge of people. It's just another population that accept online dating. So I think that guys at the bars are not less likely looking for sex than people on the app. I think it's the same.
I think it's the same too.
We're all more eager.
I think there's just like that negative stigma and negative association with online dating that it's going to be more likely to happen there than in the bar.
Yeah, yeah. So if you're new, don't listen to that stigma.
Nope.
But just get on there and try it out, and just realize that we're all not here to find booty.
No, and just because you go to a restaurant once and get food poisoning does not mean it's gonna stop you from going back. Especially if you love it.
Oh, analogy.
Yeah.
Oh. Have you had food poisoning before?
Yes, I have.
Yeah? He wasn't up to speed?
Oh, I thought you were talking about like literal food poisoning.
No, I'm going back to your analogy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yep. And it did not deter me.
It didn't deter you?
No.
Yeah.
Just because one bad seed does not mean everyone else is like that.
Yeah. Did he sow the seed? Just kidding.
No.
Sow his wild oats. So number 3 is there are scams out there. Oh my gosh.
This is so annoying.
They call it Scamternet. And so as a man, you get a lot of that. There are a lot of bots on there, on Tinder, which they've actually toned down on the bots, I think. But on Facebook, I have some friends where some people on Facebook would add you as a friend, and they would talk to you, and the pictures would be supermodel type pictures. And they'd say, talk to me on WhatsApp or talk to me online. And then they would go through this conversation, and at the end, they would ask for like some money.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's crazy. So like, I think everyone is out there to make a buck, and this is a very dishonest way. But if they ask you for money, you know it's fake. It's a scam. If they ask for your home number, address, email address, then it's also kind of sketchy as well. So I would make sure that, again, we've talked about this. If the pictures look too good to be true, sometimes it's too good to be true. Right?
And usually when they're good to be true, I swipe left.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I'm like, no.
Well, what if it's like John Cena or like Ryan Gosling? Like, he might be on the app. You never know.
I will accept Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
John Cena is not my cup of tea.
Is he too beefy? He's like a big beefcake.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, not my style either.
That's good to know. Thank you, Zorric.
So number 4. This is an ugly truth too. It says your relationships don't last.
Yep.
And according to research conducted by Michigan State University, relationships that start out online are 28% more likely to break down in their first year than relationships where couples met face to face. So that's not really a big increase, 28%. It's not like it's 78%.
That's true.
So don't let this deter you. But I think this also goes with number 5, but you have more options, and that's why people are more likely to bail, I think.
And be picky and judgmental.
Yeah.
That is me.
Yeah. And number 5, thanks for saying that, Emma, it makes you picky and judgmental. And, all the options, you have this plethora of guys. It's really appealing, but it also can be debilitating at the same time.
Right.
Because we look for that perfect person, and if they don't fit like these 10 criteria, then you swipe left.
Right.
Right?
Because they're missing the one thing.
Yeah. And our parents, they didn't have to, they had to compromise, I think, more than we did.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And yep.
Well, in the beginning, they do mention Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And if you guys don't know what that is, let me give you a quick just explanation about that. So we have this hierarchy of needs where we have to meet physiological first, and then safety, and then we have to feel like we belong and we love.
Psychological.
Physiological. I'm sorry.
Oh.
I said the wrong thing.
No, you said the right. Okay. I heard the wrong thing.
Okay. You threw me off. And so like once we're working like on esteem, we can self-actualize, which is like basically allowing us to be the best of who we are. And so a lot of times if we look kind of like where our parents were, a lot of times they were working more on the physiological and safety needs, and then we're able to provide that plus the love and belonging, so that us as their children, we're able to work on their esteem so that we can self-actualize. And that's why we can go to grad school and major in
music.
Greek. Yeah, in Greek language, or no, what's Latin? And major in Latin and try to have a profession out of that, right?
Yeah.
So it really goes down to that. Like our parents had more basic needs and didn't have all of their needs met. So now all of our needs are met so that we can explore and figure out who we are.
Wow. Mm-hmm. That's super interesting. Mm-hmm. And that's a term that I learned in college, but that's crazy how it kind of applies here to dating today.
Oh yeah, for sure. And even just think about like in relationships, like if we don't feel safe, how can we actually feel like we love and belong?
But is that, so you said physiological, so does that mean like a big, tall guy, a big, strong, bulky guy that can protect you, like John Cena, which you turned down like 5 minutes ago?
So physiological needs are like our very basic needs. So air, breathing, water, food, sleep, clothing, shelter, and sex.
Well, sex.
Sex, yes. Because that is if you think about sex in reality, it's a very basic need.
That's interesting because, we talk about number 2, and they say, people aren't hooking up all the time. But that you're saying it's a basic need. It is a basic need.
It is a basic need, but it doesn't always have to be met. So this one is always like and sex whenever we learned about it. And so really we were focusing like on everything else that I mentioned and sex.
And sex.
Because there's some people that don't need sex.
There are?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a thing.
That's a thing. That's real.
Okay.
So once we can get like our basic needs met, then we can move on to like feeling safe, and then we can move on to like the social belonging.
Some people don't need sex. I'm just joke. Just kidding.
Oh, I was like, you wanna? I mean, we can talk about it.
No, we don't have to talk about it. I think there were some men out there they just wanted me to ask it one more time. Like I can feel it.
Yes, men. There's both men and women that do not need sex every day or at all to function. They are fine not having sex. Oh my gosh.
She spelled that out really slow for us, guys.
Yeah. Are y'all comprehending?
We comprehend. Okay. So what is your takeaway from these truths of online dating?
This is always really difficult for me because I get like definitely see both sides where it's like, yay, fun, and then you're like, ugh, this is horrible. But kind of, if you're gonna be online dating, like know that there are risks with that, and just like being safe about it. Like, just be safe when you're online dating.
Yeah. Be safe.
And don't lie.
And don't lie. And also, I would say just be open. I think number 5 for me is one big thing, because you become picky and judgmental, and you shouldn't be, because that's not how we are in real life. At a bar or at Target or at a restaurant when we meet somebody, or at a party.
Like if you have the wrong belt with the shoes.
Yeah. Ew.
Yep.
Like a black belt with brown shoes. But actually that's in. That's in, I think.
It has to be very well done.
We'll find out next time, everyone. Okay, so our next topic is how dating apps can affect your mental health. Oh, according to experts.
Yep.
And the first one here is that using dating apps can lead to increased anxiety and depression. All right, men. Get ready for the buffet of rejection, because it's going to happen when we get on there.
Also, women get rejected too. It's not just men.
But I'm a man, so all I know is from a man's perspective.
Well, then I will advocate for the women out there.
Okay. Well, you have lots of options to be rejected.
Yep.
Yeah. So their main point here is there's lots of exposure to rejection, and it might not seem like it's bad, but then it's like the cumulative effect of all that rejection can kind of lead to anxiety and depression. But I'm sure, Emma, you have a better description or a better explanation than that.
Yeah, I feel the anxiety comes from, and this is, also like personal experience, when you either send or are receiving that first message and not knowing, are you going to say the right thing? Is even my profile the what's going to be most appealing? And so like that just, anxiety can do lots of things. And so even though you think this is a very minimal thing, it can definitely creep up and affect aspects of your life.
Yeah, you're right, because you think about, so is my picture okay?
Right.
Is my bio okay? Should I have swiped left on him? Should I have swiped right on him?
Right.
Should I have said that joke and he or she may not get that joke about farts?
I have a friend who, I'm not going to say her name on purpose. You know who you are. You're listening to this, probably freaking out right now, and I'm loving every minute of it. Okay. She, in my book club, people know this too. So she sends bear gifs to break the ice.
Oh, is that the one with the fish? There's like one.
There's one with the fish. There's one with like the bear just going, "Hi guys."
Oh.
Yep.
Update to break the ice on the dating app.
Right. Okay. As the first message to be like the icebreaker for the conversation. So that is what she does. That is something that she does. I think it misses more than it actually like helps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The bear?
The bear. I think it's funny, and then I don't know how effective it is. We can ask her. I can ask her and then report back if it's really important.
I think it's funny. It's better than hey. I get like hey, hi, how's your day? At least the bear is kind of funny. It seems like she's kind of a very jovial person.
She is.
She is. Okay.
You know who you are.
Why are we whispering?
Because I just want her to freak out.
So,
as we're talking about like mental health issues.
So low match rates and crude messages, not to mention ghosting, which we talk about a lot, can actually make regular users more cynical about potential dates over time. And this therapist here says that it leads to more anxiety and sometimes depression.
Yeah, and depression, encompasses a lot of things too. So don't just think about like sadness. It has other factors in, and so just think about like all the negative emotions that arise in you when you do feel like you're being constantly rejected.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah.
On top of that, it says your regular rejection on dating apps can lower your self-esteem.
Right, because think about it. Like, how valued do you feel if any time that you message someone or have a match and it doesn't go well? Like, how well do you feel when you realize that?
Well, you feel like poop.
Right.
I mean, it sucks because no one's matching with me, or I'm not getting enough matches this week or next week.
I'm actually not likable.
Yeah.
I'm like a really horrible person. Nobody's ever going to love me.
And I could feel like it'll lead to negative things too. You might go to the bar and drink, or you might do something that's bad for you, which is not good. And so the anxiety and depression is definitely linked with the low self-esteem.
Right.
The next here is giving up. It's very easy to give up on a relationship because you have so many more options now. You can just date for a couple months and be like, oh, she said one thing or he did one thing that I don't like, and you know what?
I'm done.
I'm done. That's it. I'm going to find somebody new. You're so replaceable. I don't like this.
There, Zorric.
Yeah.
There, Zorric.
So you're less inclined to work on your current relationships. You just kind of bail. And it says here, a better person is just a swipe away.
Which goes back to the conversation that we had for Maslow's hierarchy of needs, that there are some people that get on these apps after relationships that shouldn't be on apps because they have too much going on. There's live things that happen. They need to be focusing on themselves, trying to figure out, like, how am I coping with this? Am I dealing? Am I managing? And they don't need to be dating. And that's in it. We have a very like reverse thinking about that, where we think I need someone to help me cope with this. No, handle your own crap. Go see a therapist. That's why we are here.
Girl, preach it. I totally agree, because sometimes I've been in situations where I have been on a date with somebody and I mistakenly did not ask them before going on a date how long they've been single, because I usually ask that. And I've been on a date where it's
was she too cute? Is that what made you forget?
Maybe. Yeah. And she just like, I've been single for a month. I'm like, a month? You don't even, you're probably still, talking with your ex or still breaking up, or who knows what a month means.
Right.
We're breaking up in a month. You never know. And
it's been a month since we last had sex. Whatever it is.
Yeah. And that's what happens too. You break up with somebody and sometimes you can still keep hooking up. And so I would say, men, if you're out there, and definitely ask them how long they've been single.
Yes.
And I say at least like 6 months is a good, but everyone's different.
Everyone is different.
Yeah.
Some people's resiliency is higher than others.
But my rule is 6 months. They have to be at least single for 6 months, or we're not going on a date, or you're paying. You're paying. Thanks for leaving this. No, I'm just kidding. Because I always pay. So Emma, how do we mitigate these effects? Like, what are your recommendations? Your own recommendations?
Oh, that is a very good question. I think focus on what you are hoping to get out of the apps. Like, what is the purpose of you using them? Are you using them as an escape? Are you using them like as a maladaptive coping skill, which means it's a coping skill that's not helpful? Okay. Mal means bad. Okay. So is it something that you're using to cope, distract, from something that maybe you should be focusing on but don't want to in that moment? So if it's actually not helpful, then stay away. If you're actually doing it because you want to make friends, or you want to be in a relationship, or you want to just start going out more, then if it's actually to embrace you and to help you, then yes. If you're using it because you think you need to do this to better yourself when you really don't, then stop.
Everybody needs to better themselves.
Yes, we do need to work on ourselves, but again, not using maladaptive coping skills.
Maladaptive coping skills. Got
right.
It. Yeah.
Don't use unhealthy coping skills. It's kind of like, is it actually helpful for you to sleep for 20 hours a day?
If you're Rip Van Winkle, maybe.
No. No. The answer is always no.
Okay. Okay. You know what I think, my own opinion is that I think you should minimize the pressure of meeting somebody online. So make sure that you're meeting people through friends, through meetups, through other avenues, so that make sure that the online dating is not your only way to meet people.
Right.
And it takes a little bit of the pressure off.
Yes. And then, if you have social anxiety, like learn how to work through that. Learn how to cope with that. Social anxiety is a very real thing. A lot of us do experience it. Unfortunately, I think if you're more of an extrovert like Zorric and me, you're willing to kind of just like push that social anxiety down because you're such an extrovert and you're like, yay, people. Versus if you're an introvert, you're like, ugh, people,
Yeah. I agree. And I think one good takeaway from the end of this article is that, so if you're with somebody, this is Emma's MO too. It's be mindful.
Yes.
Be mindful of the person that you're dating.
Yes.
And try to work it out. And when you do meet somebody, you can get off the app. It's okay.
Yeah.
And you don't have to tell them.
No. It doesn't have to be a big ordeal.
Yeah. And just not take it too seriously, because I think everyone is going to meet somebody eventually.
And you're going to get rejected in person too.
Oh, yeah.
Men, it's going to happen.
Yeah. Can I get an amen from the men? Amen. Like they all agree.
They all understand.
Yeah. So anyways, last takeaways. Anything else? Any nuggets, words of wisdom for any of these topics here?
Love yourself. Embrace yourself. Know yourself.
Okay.
Before you start dating for reals.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Date yourself first.
Date yourself. Okay.
What about you, Zorric?
My thing is, you just got to keep your options open for how you meet people. That's my thing. Get out. Since Emma, you just mentioned that I'm an extrovert. We're extroverts. I like going to things, events and festivals and wine tastings. So do a lot of that because you're going to meet people that way too.
Yep.
So dating apps aren't the only way.
Yep.
So, okay. All right. So that's all we have for today. We hope you enjoy the show. If you have any questions, comments, or show topics you'd like for us to discuss, you can drop us a note at
hello@datepodcast.com or on @datepodcast on Instagram and Twitter.
Okay. All right. Bye, everyone.